Good morning.
We recently returned to Austria, back to the same mountain, but this time a different chalet. Chalet Alpenblick. A place where time and tradition echo through the walls. The original structure is over 300 years old. You feel it in the details. The creaking wood, the worn stone, the subtle design choices that whisper history. Yet, somehow, it still offers the comforts of the modern world. It's a balance that feels both intentional and effortless. We spent 7 days here. Each one brought new views, new adventures, and a quiet kind of inspiration. Before we dive in, a quick definition of plein air paintings. The term comes from the French phrase en plein air, meaning in the open air. It's the act of painting outdoors, directly in view of the subject, to capture the fleeting and ever-changing qualities of natural light and atmosphere. The style, it gained momentum during the French Impressionist movement in the 19th century, thanks in part to the invention of portable paint tubes, which made it possible to leave the studio behind.
Wake and bake.
Albert Einstein once said, "Action is the foundational key to all success." I'm not really sure if that explains why I can never seem to leave my work behind completely. But to deny that urge, the impulse to create, would be to deny my nature. Regret would feel heavier than the weight of my backpack. And so, I painted. Not out of obligation, but from instinct, passion. Not to capture everything, but to capture something. So this particular painting was the largest from my plein air sessions. Honestly, I had a blast with it. I kept it raw, but also pushed into building textures and layers as usual. Plenty of happy accidents along the way, including knocking over the water. What a mess. One early afternoon, Rocky and I set out for a hike and draw session up at Astbergsee. On the way, we met chainsaw artist Sven Bastian, also known as the Stielschnitzer. He and his crew were putting the finishing touches on a beautifully hand-carved bench for a mountain home. I had hoped to catch it completed on the way back, but no such luck. But
Ja,
I'll be back next year.
hi, ja, wieder da. Hallo. Super.
The hardest part about painting outdoors in the Alps, the weather. Constantly shifting systems that make it a challenge to finish anything in one sitting. Another day, slightly drier, but still teasing with drizzles. I pulled out oil pastels and pencils for a looser drawing. The movement of the clouds was hypnotic, full of energy and mood. Afterwards, I tried to relax in the jacuzzi, but with Rocky's curiosity about the nearby cows, complete relaxation was not in the cards. Speaking of cows, one morning, Rocky had his usual run outside. I didn't realize he'd made a little side trip to visit the herd, came back covered in cow manure, and proceeded to spread the joy all through the bedroom. A fun and stinky mess to start the day. I'd planned to draw the majestic Wilde Kaiser, but the clouds had their own ideas. So instead, I shifted my focus to the view looking down toward Reith. Still breathtaking in its own right. One thing's for sure, if you're working with oil pastels, you're gonna make a mess. I was doing a drawing at the Plein and trying my best to contain all the loose pigment crumbs, but it was nearly impossible. Sorry to the waiter for the mess I left behind. No matter the weather, the setbacks, or the unexpected cow encounters, this time in the mountains was an incredible gift. I'm so grateful to my wife, Lacey, for planning this adventure. I came back not only with drawings and memories, but with a fresh sense of connection to the land, to the work, and to the people and animals along the way. 7 days on this hill, and it gave me more than I expected. It wasn't just the view, though that too was unforgettable. It was the way the landscape demanded your attention. How the vastness inspired monumental awe while the quiet moments whispered of selflessness. It was a breath of fresh air, literally, yes, but also creatively. A reset, a reminder. And I think that's what art inside and out is all about.